शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताक स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमः आचार्यपदाय निताय कृपा प्रदायिने गौरकथा धामदाय नगर ग्राम तारिणे। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. We welcome all of our YouTube live listeners, our listeners over Facebook Live, and our listeners over Zoom. Welcome to this Vraja Parikrama Day 5, where we will be doing the Parikrama around Sri Mathura Dham.
All right, can we have the slideshow, please? So now we will, yesterday we traveled from Vrindavan to Mathura. And on the way, we visited Sri Radha, Bhatronda Bihari, Akrura Ghat. Then we had Prasadam at Birla Temple, and we stayed at Kishori Raman College in Mathura in our tents. Now today, we will continue to stay in the same place, but we will perform the Parikrama of Sri Mathura Dham. Today, we will be performing, having darshan of Dwarakadhisha temple, which is right next to Yamuna. Yamuna temple, Yamaraj and Yamuna temple. Vishram Ghat, where we take bath in Yamuna, offering the lamps, doing our Sankalpa. Then Pippaleshwar Mahadev, Rangeshwar Mahadev, Bhuteshwar Mahadev, and Gokarneshwar Mahadev. These are all the deities of Lord Shiva. Then we go to Dhruva Tila or Dhruva Ghat. And it's a it's related to Dhruva Maharaj and his pastime. Then we go to Kubja Mandir, Kubja, and Rangabhumi is the place where Krishna killed Kamsa, and Chanura and Mushtika had the fight with Krishna and Balaram, wrestling match. Then we go to Keshavji temple, Keshavadev, Keshav Gaudiya Math, Keshavji Gaudiya Math, Keshavadev temple, and then Sri Krishna Janmastan, the place where Lord Krishna appeared. One time, a person was going in the train, and he had not bought a ticket for the train in India. So the ticket checker came, and he said, "Where are you going?" He said, "Oh, I'm going to Ram Janmabhoomi, where Lord Ayodhya, Lord Ram appeared." So he said, "Oh, okay. Where's your ticket?" He said, I'm sorry, I don't have a ticket." He said, "Okay, then come." "Where? Where should I come?" So TC said, "Krishna Janmabhoomi, where Krishna was born." You know where Krishna appeared? In the jail. So we will see Sri Krishna Janmastan, where Krishna appeared in the prison house of Kamsa.
The jokes apart, this is actually a fact that Krishna did appear in a prison house, and how beautifully Krishna appeared, and the entire, magnanimity of this Krishna Janmastan we will be seeing and taking darshan of today. So let us go around the Mathura Dham.
Next slide, please. So here, yesterday we came from Vrindavan to Mathura. Now we are staying at Mathura and performing Mathura Parikrama. Next slide, please. This is the entire Mathura Parikrama that we would be doing inside Mathura. You can see Jamuna ji flowing so gracefully. And then we start from Vishram Ghat, where there is Jamuna temple, Dwarakadhisha temple, uh, Jamuna flowing. And then we travel towards our right. From the middle, we travel towards our right, and then we go around the circle to all the Mahadev temples, and finally to Keshavji Gaudiya Math and Krishna Janmastan. In between, we'll see Rangabhumi and Kubja's place, Dhruva Tila, all these things are coming forth. So you can pinch out and maybe see in detail what each of these places are. We may not travel every single place, but most of the places we will complete today. Next slide, please. So we start with Shri Dwarakadhish Mandir ki jai. This Dwarakadhish temple is regarded, it's actually one of the holiest temples. It's famous for its elaborate architecture, its paintings. If you go inside, it's much, much more gorgeous. It was built in 1814. Next slide, please. And this is how it looks from inside. Such beautiful color, architecture, which is there. And it's dedicated to Lord Dwarakadhish, who is depicted as the deity in here. Next slide, please. Shri Dwarakadhish ki jai. So we pray to Lord Dwarakadhish to give us the blessings to start our parikrama of Shri Mathura Dham with his blessings. Next slide, please. This is situated in near the Vishram Ghat of River Yamuna, the Ghat where we will go eventually. And near that Ghat is also another temple, very, very old Jamuna temple, Yamaraj and Yamuna temple. As it says that it is it's like 2 minutes walk from Dwarakadhish temple, and then 2 minutes walk into the Yamuna river. This entrance to this temple is silver gilded. It has a silver gild.
As we can see here, it is silver gilded. It is one of the oldest temples. It is, it is actually, from the Dwarakadhish temple, which is on the main road, we come down, make a right, and you come down a series of steps, and on the steps towards the right hand side is located this beautiful old temple of Sri Yama and Yamaraj and Yamuna. This is the only temple in the entire creation where the brother and sister are seen together. Yamaraj and Yamuna are together as brother and sister.
And a few steps from here is the entrance to the Jamuna Ghat. So they are right at the Ghat, brother and sister, Yama and Yamuna. We pray to Yamaraj that just like you are, next slide please, just like you are, this is Yama and Yamuna.
Yamuna Devi is the one with the hand raised, and this temple is said to be constructed by Maharaj Vajranabh himself, the great-grandson of Krishna around 4,900 years ago. The deities are that old, and it is said that on the day of Bhai Dooj, the day after Diwali is Bhai Dooj, on that day, it is said that Yamuna Devi invited Yamaraj to come to her to take some prasad. And after she put the, Bhai Dooj tilak on Yamaraj, and then Yamaraj asked her, "What blessings do you want, my dear sister?" And then Yamuna Devi, she said, "I don't want anything for myself, my dear brother. The only thing that I want is that anyone who comes and takes bath in my waters, please don't visit them. Please make them free. Let them become free from the harsh punishments and the judgment of Yamaraj." So Yamaraj, on this day, it is said that he fulfilled the desire of his sister. So this is very, very beautiful.
These are installed by Vajranabh, the great grandson of Krishna himself. So these are very, very authentic deities of Jam and Yamuna. So we pray to both of them to award us pure devotional service. Yamaraj is also a pure devotee of Krishna.
He's one of the 12 Mahajans.
Yes. And so we follow the footsteps of Mahajan. Mahajano yena gata sapantha. Mahajan like Yamaraj and his sister Yamuna Devi.
Jai Yamuna Maiya ki Jai. Shri Mahajan Yamaraj ki Jai. Next slide, please. Then from, coming down the stairs, we come down to this beautiful ghat of Mother Jamuna. This is where it is said that, Vishram Ghat, the reason why it is called as Vishram Ghat, Vishram means to take rest. So it is said that after killing Kamsa, Krishna was very tired after the dueling match and the huge match that he had at Rangabhumi, which we will visit in a little while. But after, performing the great Herculean task of, fighting with Chanura and Mushtika and then killing Kamsa, Krishna was very tired, and to rest, Krishna came here to the banks of the river Jamuna, and he took bath in the refreshing waters of the Jamuna, and he rested here for some time. And it is also said that Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he started his parikrama of Sri Vraja Mandala, he also took rest here at this Vishram Ghat. He took, Vishram means to take rest. So he took rest here at Sri Vishram Ghat and took bath in these waters of Mother Jamuna.
Next slide, please. Officially, this is the starting point of our parikrama, officially speaking, of the Vrajamandal parikrama. We did the Vrindavan parikrama, but this is the Vrajamandal parikrama. This is the starting point, and we let us in our minds enter into the waters of Yamuna very respectfully. And when during the Vrajamandal parikrama, when we go there, they tie this Sankalpa thread. And here in the waters of Yamuna, we take Sankalpa that we can perform our 1 month parikrama. Next slide, please. Without fail. And we don't give up in between. This is the Sankalpa we pray to Mother Yamuna. Next slide again. This is another view of Vishram Ghat. Can we go back a little, please? If you see on the left-hand side, the place that you see, that's where people change their clothes. And there is also a temple of Yamuna there. But we are right now in the waters, and we are doing our Sankalpa. Next slide, please. Let's do our Sankalpa and pray to our Gayatris, those who are Brahmin initiated, and pray to Mother Yamuna, please. Please give us the strength, determination, faith, patience, enthusiasm to complete this Vrajamandal Parikrama without fail. In fact, many times, because it's so much walk, it's almost 20 to 25 kilometers walk every day, sometimes even 30 kilometers. And sometimes the body for 30 days walking like this, living in tents, and these kind of conditions, sometimes some devotees are not able to complete it. So here, with utter humility, full dependence on Yamuna Devi, we pray, please, we don't have any other hope except you. If you can allow us to complete our Vrajamandal Parikrama, we are doing the Manasa Vrajamandal Parikrama. So we pray here, please allow us to be focused in our consciousness to perform this Parikrama in our minds. And please award us the same benefit of pleasing you as we would if we would walk on Srimati Radharani's dham.
So here we take our bath while we are making this ardent prayer, like Prabhu said, we are making this ardent prayer to Mother Jamuna over here at Vishram Ghat. These pictures, some of these pictures, especially this one, is a courtesy especially of Parameshwari Radha and Austin Prabhu. So they're from Bangladesh. So we thank you both very much for these pictures. And we will be definitely sharing more of your pictures because they have a wonderful collection also. So we thank you both for sharing these pictures. This is such a fantastic picture that they had shared with us. So thank you.
And on the last day of the parikrama, remember this place, because we will return to this very place and complete our parikrama. Next slide, please. So here we offer lamp to Yamuna Devi. while singing Damodar Ashtakam and take blessings from Yamuna Devi and start our Parikrama officially. Next slide, please. We are taking Sankalp at Yamuna and praying that we can complete this Parikrama again, and we will come back on the last day to the same place to complete the Parikrama.
So let us look for ourselves. We might find ourselves in this crowd. This is the scene where the devotees are actually taking Sankalpa, and the local priests are there. They are helping us take the Sankalpa for this 30-day Vrajamandal Parikrama. So,
Sankalpa means a vow, and Sankalpa means samyak, together taking a vow. So we are all in this together. Together, we are all taking a vow to complete this Vrajamandal Parikrama. Pray to the Lord to allow us to complete. Pray to Yamuna Devi. Next slide, please.
So then from here, we walk towards, as soon as we come out of the Ghat, we make a left and we keep walking. So the first temple that we come to is this Pippaleshwar Mahadev. So it is said that there are 4 highly revered Shiva temples in Mathura Dham, they are actually in 4 different directions, north, south, east, and west. And Pippaleshwar Mahadev temple is protecting the east side. The eastern side is protected by Pippaleshwar Mahadev. It is said that these 4, temples of Lord Shiva on these 4 directions, they are protecting Mathura Dham. They're like the Kshatrapal who are protecting Mathura Dham from all the 4 sides. So for a fruitful yatra, it is said, for a fruitful yatra, a successful yatra, and the completion of Sri Vraja Mandal, permission of at least one of the Mahadev is very, very important. One Kshatrapal, out of the 4. So we will visit all 4. So we don't want to leave anything to chance. We will visit all 4 temples. So this Pippaleshwar Mahadev temple is in Vishram Ghat. It's a very small temple, very, very small temple. And inside the temple is, this Lord Shiva Linga, as you can see above is Goddess Parvati, his eternal consort, who is residing on the top. And, this temple is always open. Anyone can just walk in, you can touch Lord Shiva. And this Lord Shiva is so merciful, right on the banks of the Yamuna. Very, very merciful Lord Shiva. This is Pippaleshwar Mahadev, who is guarding the eastern side. Next slide, please. We walk a little further, we come to Rangeshwar Mahadev. Sri Rangeshwar Mahadev is the second Shiva temple who is said to be, he's made out of stone. He is made out of stone linga. And it is said that Kamsa worshipped this Mahadev. That's why you see the big mustache on Lord Shiva. The manifestation of Kamsa is coming here. So Kamsa is said to be worshipping this Mahadev Shiva, and Rangeshwar Mahadev is the protector of Mathura Dham in the south. So Pippaleshwar in the east, Rangeshwar Mahadev in the south. Next from here we come, next slide please. We come to Bhuteshwar Mahadev temple. Now Bhuteshwar Mahadev temple is a little bit on the detour. If you see the map, he comes on the side where before going to Krishna Janmastan, we visit Bhuteshwar Mahadev temple and we seek his blessings to properly approach the dham in the proper loving mood. And Bhuteshwar Mahadev is located in the west side of Mathura, protecting the western side of Mathura. Next slide, please. Let's take darshan of Sri Bhuteshwar Mahadev ki jai.
So, Bhuteshwar means one who is the controller of ghosts. That's Bhuteshwar Mahadev or Shiva. Next slide, please. From here, we come to Sri Gokarneshwar Mahadev temple, which is like on the tip of the place of the map that we actually saw. This is Gokarneshwar Mahadev ki jai. This is in the north, protecting Mathura Dham in the northern direction. Here Lord Shiva is called as Gokarna Mahadev because Gokarna, who is one of the famous speakers of Srimad Bhagavatam, he worshipped Lord Shiva here in this place. So this is the Lord of Gokarna, Shri Gokarneshwar Mahadev Mandir. So we take his blessings also so we can complete the Mathura Parikrama today in proper consciousness.
And the entire Vraja Mandala also. So
Yes.
if you may notice that we went a little detour so that we could cover all the 4 Mahadev temples, but we are coming back after Pippaleshwar Mahadev and Rangeshwar Mahadev. We will continue to, in that Parikrama marg, we come back to Dhruva Ghat is our next stop. So next slide, please. This is Dhruva Ghat, where Dhruva Maharaj is said to have taken bath. So next slide, please. So we all know about Dhruva Maharaj, that Dhruva Maharaj's father was the great king Maharaj Uttanapad. He had 2 beautiful wives, the elder one being Suruchi, and no, Suniti, it's always so confusing. Suniti being the elder wife, Suruchi being the younger one. And Suniti's mother is, her son is Dhruva Maharaj, the elder brother, and Suruchi's son is Uttama, who is on the lap. The green sari is Suruchi. She is the mother of Uttama. Next slide, please. So Maharaj Uttanapad, he loved both his sons very, very wonderfully. He loved, but he had special affection to his younger wife. The younger one who is Shuruchi. He had special affection towards her. Next slide, please. So one day, both the brothers, Uttama and Dhruva, were playing on the lap of the king Uttanapad on the throne. And that time Suruchi came and she insulted Dhruva and said, "How dare you? How can you sit on your father's lap, on the king's throne? You are not qualified to sit on your father's throne." And then she just insulted him so badly. And little Dhruva, he had Kshatriya blood, Kshatriyas, even though he was just a mere child of 5 years old only. But still, he was very, very offended by the way Suruchi spoke to Dhruva. So Dhruva Maharaj, he was so hurt, he was so offended. And he said, "But this is my father, I can sit on his lap." Next slide, please. Then Suruchi said, "No, if you want to sit on your father's lap, then you have to die and you have to take birth again from my womb. And then in your next life, when you take birth from my womb, then you can sit on your father's lap." And Dhruva was very, 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 very hurt. And he just very dejected. He came to his mother and he started crying. He was so angry. Dhruva was so angry that why did Suruchi say like this to him? And Suniti said, my dear son Dhruva, the only, I cannot do anything as your mother. I cannot help you. But the only person who can help you is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan. And Dhruva said, "So where can I find Lord Narayan?" And Suniti mother said that, he is in the forest. So you please go to the forest and find Lord Narayan. And then Dhruva Maharaj, he had a resolve in his mind and he said that, my mother Suruchi, she said that I cannot sit on my father's lap on his throne. I will please Lord Narayan and I will get a position which is even higher than my father's throne. The highest position I will get. So with that determination, 5-year-old boy, can we imagine? 5-year-old boy having this kind of a determination? But Dhruva Maharaj, with Kshatriya spirit, he just left the palace, keeping in his heart the words of his mother that he has to find Lord Narayan. So he started walking towards the forest. And then, the Devatas, they saw that this 5-year-old delicate boy, he's going towards the forest. They sent immediately, Narad Muni was there. Next slide, please. Narad Muni came. And Narad Muni said, "My dear boy, where are you going?" And little Dhruva said, yes, Narada, I am going. I am going to the forest. My mother told me that only Lord Narayan can help me. So I'm going to the forest to please him so that I can get a position that is higher than my father's throne. So Narada said, Are, it's okay. You are a little boy. Suruchi is your mother only, no? Why are you feeling so bad of what Suruchi told you? She's your mother. Why are you feeling so bad? Narad Muni was trying to test the resolve and the determination of little Dhruva. Dhruva Maharaj said, No, 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 no. I will not take this lightly. I have to go and find Lord Narayan and I have to get my desire fulfilled. So then Narad Muni said, My dear boy, you are just a 5-year-old bacha. You're a boy, mere boy. You should just spend your time in playing. Don't waste your time in all this. You know, great yogis, rishis, they spend lifetimes in finding Lord Narayan. How will you be able to find Lord Narayan? And then that's when Dhruva Maharaj, he said, next slide, please. Dhruva Maharaj, he immediately surrendered to Narad Muni and said, My dear Narad Muni, I know you. You are the spiritual master of every living entity. And you are intimately connected with Lord Narayan. I seek your shelter. You tell me, how can I find Lord Narayan? So Dhruva Maharaj immediately surrendered. 5-year-old boy surrendered to Narad Muni. And Narad Muni immediately instructed him. So this place at this, Dhruva Ghat, near Dhruva Ghat is a place called Dhruva Tila. So here is where Narad Muni instructed little Dhruva, saying that, my dear Dhruva, please go to one of the most glorious 12 forests of Vrindavan, which is Madhuvan. Go to Madhuvan, and over there you perform tapasya, you take bath in the Yamuna every day, and Narad Muni gave him instructions. You do this, and you chant the 12-syllable mantra. Narad Muni initiated 5-year-old Dhruva Maharaj and gave him the mantra.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So this mantra was chanted by Dhruva Maharaj. So tomorrow we will go and find out that this place is where Narad Muni instructed, where we are right now at Dhruva Ghat. So Narad Muni instructed Dhruva Maharaj to go from here to Madhuvan. So Madhuvan is the first forest of the 12 forests of Vrindavan that we will visit tomorrow.
And imagine this 5-year-old boy where he met Narad Muni at Dhruva Ghat, which is near Vishram Ghat, near Yamuna. He was walking from Kanpur, this place where his father Uttanapad was there. This was near Kanpur. From Kanpur, this 5-year-old boy is walking all the way to Mathura. Where, next slide, please. This is the Dhruva Tila, or the place where Dhruva Maharaj was instructed by Narad Muni at the age of 5 what he should do to occupy a position more exalted than anyone has achieved in the 3 worlds, even greater than his father's, who was the king of this entire earth, ruling from Kanpur.
Okay.
So Dhruva Maharaj, in this way, gave him this. From here, tomorrow, we will go to Madhuban and we will learn about Dhruva Maharaj a little more.
What he did, how the Lord reciprocated with him, how he performed his penances, and finally how he received the mercy of the Lord. So here, if you see in this Dhruva Tila, you can see the Yamuna flowing on the top corner. That is the Dhruva Ghat, and this is where the place is where Narad Muni met Dhruva Maharaj and accepted Dhruva Maharaj as his disciple, initiating him with the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So let us pay obeisances to this holiest of all holy places where Dhruva Maharaj got initiated. This has the potency so that we can pray that please allow us to follow our vows of initiation with our Guru Maharaj and allow us to accept, surrender to our Guru Maharajas.
Haribo. Jai Shri Dhruva Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Narad Muni ki Jai.
Next slide, please. From here, we'll go to Kubja Mandir. Kubja was a servant of King Kamsa. She used to take sandalwood pulp to give to Kamsa. And as she was going, you can see she was hunchbacked and she has this sandalwood paste in her hand. She was going to give to Kamsa, but in between, when Akrura brought Krishna and Balaram started going around Mathura. Yesterday we saw how Akrura brought Krishna and Balaram. Akrura told him, please come with me, stay with me. And all Nanda Maharaj, everyone was there. All the Brajvasis were there. So Krishna took Akrura aside and pleaded with him, I do want to come to your home and I promise I will come to your home. But right now it doesn't feel appropriate. My parents, everyone is there. And let me go to Mathura, around Mathura, and then you go to your home. We will come in a few days to meet you. So sensitive Krishna is. And he was going, Krishna and Balaram, they were going around Mathura. Kubja, she was going to give sandalwood paste to Kamsa. She saw Krishna Balaram so beautiful. Spontaneously, she offered this sandalwood pulp meant for Kamsa. She offered to Krishna. And then, next slide, please. Krishna was touched by this devotion of Kubja. And Krishna, as you can see, he put his lotus foot on her feet, and then with, with the finger of his hand, he put on the base of her chin, and then just lifted her up. And her hunchback went away, and she transformed into a beautiful woman, even more beautiful than the heavenly Apsaras. And Kubja, seeing that, she was such a transformation. She was so grateful to the Lord for his mercy and for his love, that her love for Krishna kept on increasing and increasing and increasing. And after Krishna killed Kamsa and re-established Ugrasena on the throne of Mathura, he went with Uddhava to Kubja's house. Next slide, please. He went again, came after killing Kamsa. Next slide, please. He went to Kubja's house to satisfy her longing, blessed her with pure love, and same time purified and transformed her into a pure devotee.
Jai.
Next slide, please. So this is the location of Kubja's home. We pray to Mother Kubja that the way you spontaneously attracted the mind of Krishna by offering her sandalwood paste, please bless us so we may also be spontaneously attracted to please Krishna in the same way.
Haribo.
Next slide, please.
So next we come to this Rangabhumi. The Rangabhumi, from here you can see the temple background. There's a beautiful temple in the background, but this is, just a, vast tract of land. This is it's a place of historic significance. And, it is this site where the wrestling arena was organized by Kamsa. Next slide, please. And this is the place where Krishna and Balaram, they fought with Chanura and with Mushtika. So this is the site. Rangabhumi is the site, the arena of the wrestling match. So this is where, comes where Chanura and Mushtika, they fought with Krishna and Balaram. And here is the same place where Krishna then finally killed Kamsa. Next slide, please. So Krishna finally killed Kamsa. Next slide, please. So here again in the same, after killing Chanura and Mushtika, Krishna then killed Kamsa right here at Rangabhumi. And he completely freed Mathura from the evil, reign of Kamsa and reinstated Ugrasena as the king of Mathura. Next slide, please. So this is Sri Rangabhumi Ki Jai. Then from here, we come onto the main road. As soon as we come onto the main road, we were walking along the Ghat of the Yamuna, and that's where all these other places are. And then we come to the main road. As soon as we come to the main road, to the right side, there is this Keshavji Gaudiya Matth temple.
This is the temple where our very own Srila Prabhupada, he received sannyas initiation. In the month of Bhadra, on the day on which Vishwarupa accepted sannyas, His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada also received sannyas at Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math from Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, Srila Keshav Maharaj. And on the morning, this happened on September 17, 1959, 6 years before he left for America. Next slide, please. These are the deities of Sri Radha Krishna and Gauranga Mahaprabhu at Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math.
In front of whom Srila Prabhupada took sannyas. They were the presiding deities. And can we have the next slide, please? And this is the temple room. It's a 5x15 temple room where Srila Prabhupada received the sannyas
on the
ceremony.
Second floor of this Keshavji Gaudiya Math. Then it is said that sitting opposite each other, there was a 90-year-old Sanatan Maharaj, who would become Sanatan Maharaj, and Abhay Charan, who would become Srila Prabhupada. Both of them sat together on the Kusha grass, and these two candidates, Narayan Maharaj, Keshav Maharaj's disciple, prepared to conduct the ceremony of the mantras and offerings of grains and ghee into the fire. Abhay's godbrother, which is Srila Prabhupada's godbrother, Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. He was known for his sweet singing. He played the mridanga and sang Vaishnava bhajans sitting on a raised asana at this very place. And then His Holiness Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj presided over the ceremony. Then Srila Narayan Maharaj, he chanted the required mantras, and Keshav Maharaj, Srila Keshav Maharaj lectured. And then, to everyone's surprise, Srila Keshav Maharaj, he asked Abhay Charan to speak. And Srila Prabhupada, he had not expected this. He looked around, gathering of devotees, and he saw that the common language was Hindi, because this is in Vrindavan, Keshavji Gaudiya Math. Only Keshav Maharaj and a few others, they spoke English. Yet Srila Prabhupada gave a lecture in English because his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, had instructed him that if you want to preach in the English language to the Western countries. So he fulfilled the instruction of his spiritual master. And after the speech, they received the sannyas mantra. Srila Keshav Maharaj said that Abhay Charan Arvinda would now be known as Abhay Charan Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. And after the ceremony, these two new sannyasis, next slide, Sanatan Maharaj, 90-year-old on our left, and on the right, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. This is the photograph of Srila Prabhupada, which occurred in the Keshavji Gaudiya Math, and in the middle is Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
And so then, next slide, please. So now we go to Keshavadev Ji temple. This is different from Keshavji Gaudiya Math. This is Mathura's Keshavadev temple. You can see there is a chariot on the entrance of this temple, beautifully decorated.
So this is actually the Krishna Janmastan temple, and Keshavdev Ji temple is part of the Janmabhoomi temple, the Janmasthan temple. So it is on the side, on the left-hand side, there is a very beautiful temple of Sri Keshavadev ji. So therefore, we have shown a night view of the Janmasthan. This is the Janmasthan temple of Sri Krishna. Haribo.
Next slide, please. This was during Janmashtami, and this is the beautiful Keshavadev ji ki jai. It's said that anyone who takes darshan of this long-haired Krishna, all his spiritual desires are fulfilled. And next slide, please. With such beautiful, he's so innocent boy, Keshavadev ji, just very, we automatically, spontaneously feel protective towards such a innocent, dear boy, Keshavadev ji ki jai. This temple was first built by Vajranab, the great grandson of Krishna, 5,000 years back. And then Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu came here, very lovingly took darshan of Sri Keshavji. So remember, we are following the footsteps of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Now, this city of Mathura, this was founded in the Treta Yuga, actually, by Shatrughna. It was first actually founded by Shatrughna, Lord Ram's brother, in Treta Yuga. Then later, of course, Kamsa ruled it. Then here is where Devaki and Vasudeva were imprisoned by Kamsa. This is where is the prison house where Lord Krishna was born. Unfortunately, we don't have any pictures of inside because they don't allow to take pictures inside. But in our minds, we can just fly inside and have the darshan of the actual prison house where Devaki and Vasudeva were there, and Krishna appeared to them in that way. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also visited here. Next slide, please.
So we see here when Mother Devaki, she was pregnant for the 8th time with Krishna in her womb, all the Devatas, they all came to pray to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because they all knew that Krishna is about to make his appearance. And Mother Devaki had become so bright, so effulgent, so beautiful when she was carrying Krishna in her womb. So, this, and Krishna came in a very mystical way. He didn't come as normal human beings are born. It is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna first appeared within the mind and the heart of Vasudeva. And from the mind and the heart of Vasudeva, he was transferred, Krishna was transferred into the heart of Mother Devaki. And from the heart of Mother Devaki, Krishna entered into her womb. So it is not normal way that generally human beings are born that Krishna appeared. And even we will see how Krishna actually made his appearance. He, just like how Lord Nrsingadev appeared from the pillar. Similarly, we will see how from Mother Devaki's womb, he just appeared. There was no labor pain. There was nothing that Mother Devaki experienced. No pain at all in the appearance of Krishna. That itself proves that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Next slide, please. So we see here how, there's, first, Devaki and Vasudeva, they are Sutapa and Prishni from their previous life. And that's why Lord Vishnu first manifested and reminded them that this is your third birth, that you had asked me that you wanted to have me as your son. So therefore, this is your third birth that I'm appearing as your son, and therefore, then Mother Devaki, she said that, oh, my dear Lord Vishnu, thank you for, fulfilling our desire. But if the gods who are right here, if they see you in this form, they will come and you are my child. You have to, manifest. Can you manifest? Take away this four-handed form and come as a human child in front of me. So then Krishna, baby Krishna manifested. You can see here, baby Krishna came in the plea of Mother Devaki. Next slide, please. So here we see how in the prison house of Kamsa, Mother Devaki and Vasudev, they had the good fortune of seeing Krishna manifest. You know how Krishna manifested as a little tiny cute baby. Next slide, please. And then Krishna instructed Mother Devaki that, Maya, you don't worry at all, Mother Devaki. I will be safe. And then he told Vasudev, my dear father, you take me to Gokul. Leave me with your friend Nanda Baba. And his wife Jashoda has now just given birth to twin children, children. So go and bring the girl and keep me over there in her protection. And by the potency of Yogamaya, all the gods, they fell asleep. And Ananta Shesh, who can never leave Krishna even for a moment, Balaram, he is coming as the protector, that he's coming as protecting Vasudev, who is walking out of the prison house. The shackles broke apart, the doors of the prison house opened, the guards were asleep, and in the middle of the night, Vasudev is taking Krishna from Mathura to Gokul. Next slide, please. He crosses the river Jamuna, and Jamuna Maya, she is now very, very eager to touch the lotus feet of Krishna. So she sinks Vasudeva a little bit so that she could touch Krishna's lotus feet. And Anantashesh was there to protect baby Krishna. And then Jamuna Ma gave the way to Vasudev to cross the river Jamuna, and then Vasudev came to Gokul, to the residence of Nanda Maharaj. It was middle of the night, no one was awake. Next slide, please. So Mother Jashoda, she is sleeping. She also did not even know that she had already given birth. This is a very, very wonderful scene. If you notice very carefully, both of them are Krishna. The one that Vasudev is bringing, he's about to keep the baby, that is Krishna. The one who is lying down next to Mother Jashoda, that is also Krishna. Remember yesterday when we were coming from Vrindavan, we stopped at Akrura Ghat and we mentioned that Vrindavan Krishna stayed back in Vrindavan and Vasudev Krishna came to Mathura. So this is Vasudev Krishna whom Vasudev brought. And Vasudev, his father, was not able to see. Vrindavan Krishna was not visible to Vasudev. He thought he's just leaving his own child. And then from next to baby Krishna, there was the Yogamaya, little girl was there. So Vasudev just carried the little girl and brought her back to Mathura. Next slide, please. And then when Kamsa found out that, Devaki had given birth to the 8th child, Devaki mother pleaded that, my dear brother, please don't kill her. She is a girl. How can she kill you? She is fit to be your daughter-in-law. Please don't kill her. Please don't kill her. And then, Kamsa said, no, the 8th child has to die. And he was about to just smash her against the same place where he smashed all the other children, the 6 children of Mother Devaki. But as soon as he wanted to smash her, this Yogamaya Devi, she assumed the form of Mahamaya, of Durga Devi, the 800 form of Durga Devi, and said, my dear Kamsa, the one who is going to kill you is already born and he's safe somewhere. So this was the prediction that this Mahamaya Devi made, and she just disappeared. And Kamsa said, oh, I'm so sorry, Devaki Vasudev, and he released Devaki and Vasudev. But this is the entire pastime that happened in this Sri Krishna Janmastan. And the later pastimes which happened with Nandotsav, what happened in Gokul, we'll find out when we visit Gokul eventually. Next slide, please.
Jai. So this is where we are in the entire Vrajmandal Parikrama in Mathura. We completed the Mathura Parikrama today. Shri Mathura Dham ki Jai. Next slide, please. Again, we went to so many different places, starting from Vishram Ghat in the middle, and then all the Mahadev temples, and then to Dhruva Ghat and Ranga Kshetra. So many different places we went. And finally, we ended with Shri Krishna Janmastan ki jai.
So tonight again, we will be staying at the same place near Kishori Raman College in Mathura. We will be staying and camping there also tonight. And tomorrow morning, we will be starting our yatra, our parikrama into the first forest of Vrindavan, which is Madhuvan, where Dhruva Maharaj went.
Next slide, please. So this is where our yatra day 5 ends today. We have 25 more days, 25, 26 more days to go. So fasten your seatbelts, stay strong. Today we have got lots of blessings from Yamuna Devi and all the Mahadev temples. So let's keep this determination and keep moving forward. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Let's end the slideshow here and share the wonderful bhajan that we would be singing today. Hari Bolbo our Madan Mohan Hari Bogo. This is a Bengali Vaishnava song by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. This comes from his book Prarthana, where he's saying, when will I be able to say Hari and see Madan Mohan, the Madan Mohan temple? This form I walk to Vraja. Then when I enter into the holy land of Vraja, I will hear the ankle bells. I will actually become the ankle bells of the gopis' feet, lotus feet. I'll make sweet sounds as an ankle bell. I will behold these pastimes of these cowherd boys and will spread the dust from their lotus feet and apply it to my entire body, which we will have opportunity to do several times. Third,
I will behold the vision of the sweet form of Sri Sri Radha Krishna with my 2 eyes. I will remain at the gate of the forest of Vraja. O residents of Vraja Bhumi, please fulfill my desire. When will I hear the sweet sound of the flute of Sri Krishna? At the last moment of my life, I will place my body in the river Yamuna and float by singing Shri Shri Radha Govinda. Narottam Das Thakur says, I am unable to fulfill this desire. When will I become a resident of Sri Vrajabhumi? So this is the beautiful prayer because we visited Mother Jamuna today and got such special blessings of the Vrajadham, about to enter into the mysteries of Sri Vrajadham. So we thought that this bhajan will be something very wonderful for us to prepare ourselves to enter in the proper mood as Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayor Dasa Dasa Dasanadas, to be the servant of the lotus feet of the gopis.
Hari Bol Bo Madan Mohan, Hari Bol Bo, Hari Bol Bo Madan Mohan, Hari Bol Bo. Hey Rupe Do Jajara Pathe, Choli Bo Go, Ami. Hey Rupe Do Jajara Pathe, Choli Bo Go, Hari Bol Bo Madan Mohan, Hari Bol Bo, Hari Bol Bo Madan Mohan, Hari Bol Bo. Namo Rajendra Bo, Hamo Gopir Payer Duku, Ami Nupur Hoye Rono Jono, Baji Bogo, Ami Nupur Hoye Rono Jono, Baji Bogo, Hari Bolo Madan Mohan, Hari Bolo, Hari Bolo Madan Mohan, Hari Bolo. বিপিনে বিনোদে খেলা সঙ্গে তেরা খালের মেলা বিপিনে বিনোদে খেলা সঙ্গে তেরা খালের মেলা আমি তাদের চরণের ধুলা মাখিব গো আমি তাদের চরণের ধুলা মাখিব গো হরি বলবো আর মদন মোহন হরি বলবো হরি বলবো আর মদন মোহন হরি বলবো
রাধা কৃষ্ণের রূপ মাধুরী দেখিব দুনয়ন ভরি রাধা কৃষ্ণের রূপ মাধুরী দেখিব দুনয়ন ভরি আমি নিকুঞ্জের দ্বারে দ্বারে রইব গো হরি বলবো আর মদন মোহন হেরিব গো হরি বলবো আর মদন মোহন হেরিব গো ব্রজবাসী তোমরা সবে এই অভিলাষ পুরাবে আমি আর কবে কৃষ্ণের বাসী শুনিব গো আমি আর কবে কৃষ্ণের বাসী শুনিব গো হরি বলবো আর মদন মোহন হেরিব গো হরি বলবো আর মদন মোহন হেরিব গো এই দেহ অন্তিম কালে রাখিব শ্রী যমুনার জলে আমি জয় রাধে গোবিন্দ বলে ভাসিব গো আমি জয় রাধে গোবিন্দ বলে ভাসিব গো হরি বলবো আর মদন মোহন হেরিব গো হরি বলবো আর মদন মোহন হেরিব গো কহিল রতম না পুরিল আর কবে ব্রজে বাস করিব গো আমি আর কবে ব্রজে বাস করিব গো হরি বলবো আর মদন মোহন হেরিব গো হরি বলবো আর মদন মোহন হেরিব
जय श्री मथुरा धाम की
जय
श्री श्री नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर की
जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय हरे
श्रील
कृष्ण
गुरुदेव की
जय
Hare Krishna. So let's open up for questions and comments now.
Yes. Surya Prabhu, yes, we are working on it to make small videos of the kirtans. We will definitely share once those kirtans are ready. We will definitely share them with you. Thank you so much for that comment. Kirti?
Hare Krishna Mati Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Guru and Gauranga. I really liked today's class. One place I liked was Yamuna and the Prameshwar Mahadev and those places like that. So I have one question. So Yamaraj, he's like the person who deals all the people who have to go to hell and everything. So if he's a good devotee, how did Krishna even give that job to him? Like, he could give him another job. Why does he need to give him a job of maintaining like bad people and like people go to hell?
People go to heaven as well. He decides who goes where. He has an entire department who is keeping the account of everyone's pious and sinful activities and decide accordingly. It's a very thankless position because, you know, whatever you do, people would blame Yamaraj, the person who is judging, but except those who are surrendered to Krishna. So this is different, like different devatas, they have their services of universal management. Indra has the management of the rain, and there are all these different Varuna for the ocean, and so many different devatas. But Yamaraj is a pure devotee, and on behalf of Krishna, he is performing this service. And so there are very, very tough services that sometimes we have to do, in which there is no glory, no fame. In fact, there is infamy. But Yamaraj's consciousness is someone has to do it. If Krishna has asked me to do it, I will do it on behalf of Krishna. And he keeps his consciousness very, very clean. He does not allow his personal preferences to come in between this. That is a very, very difficult thing. And in one sense, he, as a devotee, he does not like to do it, but he still has to do it as a service, as an austerity. He does it to please Krishna.
And Lord Shiva, who is another Mahajan, Param Vaishnava, and he also one time, when especially when Jagai Madhai were delivered by Lord Chaitanya, if you remember, Lord Shiva came to Yamaloka because Yamaraj had fainted. That, how did Gauranga Mahaprabhu relieve Jagai Madhai of all the sins? And therefore Lord Chaitanya whispered, Gauranga, 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 in the ears of Yamaraj, and he came back to consciousness. And they had beautiful, beautiful kirtan in the entire Yamaloka. So Yamaraj is a very, very wonderful, pure devotee of the Lord, and he has taken on that role, that service of, punishing those who are going away from Krishna, not following properly and, correcting them. It's a correctional facility that he's in charge of. So he's taking a very hard service, but he's doing it for Krishna. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Beta. Hare Krishna. Parameshwari Radha. Parameshwari, I see your hand raised. You can unmute.
Sorry. I was muted. Sorry, I'm talking while muted. Sorry, Krishna Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu and Mataji. Actually, sorry, my question is not related to today's topic, but yesterday when you mentioned when we were in Akrura Ghat, Krishna was going to Mathura. So you have mentioned that Vrindavan, Krishna never left Vrindavan. It was the Vasudev Krishna who left Vrindavan and went to Mathura. But my question is, why after Krishna left Vrindavan, the Brajavasis were in so much separation? If Krishna never left Vrindavan, then is there love more for the Vasudev Krishna than Vrindavan Krishna?
It is said that Krishna was in his bhava form. He was in his, present, because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. That's a fact. But Krishna was present in his bhava manifestation so that he could experience the intimate, loving relationship. It is said that when there is separation, the love increases even more. You see, in material terms, we say that familiarity breeds contempt. And we also say, out of sight, out of mind. That is material relationships. But spiritual relationships are completely opposite. Spiritual relationships, when someone is away, then the love increases even more. Physical distance makes the heart grow more fonder. That is spiritual equation. So that is spiritual truth. So therefore Krishna, he wanted to increase the love of the Vrajavasis. Therefore he was present there in his bhava form. And if he wouldn't have been present, the Vrajavasis would have left their bodies. But because Krishna was present, they were holding on to their life. And they knew that Krishna is with them, although not maybe physically visible to them. But he would come and he would spend every night with the Vrajavasis. He would do that in his bhava manifestation, it is explained.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Parameshwari.
Because Krishna is absolute truth. His remembrance and there's no difference between Krishna and his remembrance. In that sense, he was there in his remembrance form, bhava form.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Bhakti Priya.
Hare Krishna, Mataji and Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Bol.
Yes, Mataji, like you were explaining about Kshetra Palakas, I want to ask about Bhuteshwara Mahadev. In the right side of Bhuteshwar Mahadev, one more deity was there. I want to know who is that, Mataji.
That's also Bhuteshwar. It's a second linga. That is also Bhuteshwara Mahadev. They both are manifesting as Bhuteshwar Mahadev. Okay.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mataji, I have one more question.
Yes, Gandharvi.
Jai, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Like, I want to ask that you are explaining about like Vasudev, he took the Krishna and gave it to Yashodamai. There were two Krishnas, right? Then one Krishna he took, but how the girl baby came, I was confused. That
Mother Yashoda gave birth to two kids that night. She gave birth to, yes, Yashoda Ma had two babies born. One was Yogamaya, the girl, and one was Krishna.
Okay.
Because it said that, how Mahamaya is otherwise considered to be Krishna's sister, no? So how is she Krishna's sister if she does not appear from Yashoda Maya? So Yashoda Maya is also actually given birth to Krishna himself, and that is Vrindavanendra Krishna. And along with Vrindavanendra Krishna, she had twin babies, and that was the girl. This is mentioned in the in a narration in the purport by Srimad in Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is a quotation given from another Purana which establishes this fact.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know about that.
Bhagavatam is there.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Very nice to see both of you. Anjudi.
हरे कृष्णा जय श्री राधे
जय श्री राधे
दंडवत प्रणाम बहुत ही आनंद आ रहा है बस चले जा रहे हैं प्रभु के चरणों में थैंक यू सो मच प्रभु जी एंड माता जी फॉर दिस डिवाइन mesmerizing yatra. Today I have one question. This when you were mentioning about Prabhupada taking sannyas, so actually, I just wanted to understand this. Generally, like if you see in Bhagavad Gita, also Krishna says that we can be Karam Yogi and we don't need to, like, there are two types of this, Sankhya Yoga and Karam Yoga. So I would just think, like, why, if you could just explain why Prabhupada then took sannyas, when I just wanted to, if you could explain.
Yes, very good question. Actually speaking, according to the Shastra, sannyas is forbidden in Kali Yuga. However, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, as we know. But the real purpose of his taking sannyas was that he wanted to preach, because people listen to the sannyasi. So when he tried preaching before taking sannyas, Lord Chaitanya, we'll come to Srila Prabhupada in a minute, but people were not receptive. They were committing more offense. And since he was Supreme Personality of Godhead, people are committing offense. It's not good. And he does not want to force people to take up Krishna consciousness. He wants them to voluntarily take up. And so he felt that if he takes sannyas, then they will be more receptive. And that worked. That happened. So from there, I mean, of course, so in Gaudiya Sampradaya, sannyas started since then. After that, after some time, there were no sannyasis in Gaudiya. This was 1486 to 1500s that Lord Chaitanya was there. And then Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he was a Grihastha. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was a Babaji, not specifically like a sannyasi. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada, he restarted this sannyas. He took sannyas and he restarted this sannyas parampara in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya again. And his goal was to, so because of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mercy, so many sannyasis started coming, so many brahmacharis started coming. Otherwise, it's very difficult in Kali Yuga. itself, even if you want to. And then Srila Prabhupada, he was a grihastha. He had a family and he had children. He had a business. And then his business was then taken over, by some cheating or something, and he lost everything. And at that time, first meeting when he met Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, first time, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, you should preach in the English language to the Westerners, like that, all over the world. So imagine, first time you're meeting someone and they're saying, go and preach. He said, I don't even know you, but Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur recognized Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada then, for several years after that, he was a grihastha. Then when everything went away, he again remembered. He never forgot, actually, his spiritual master's instruction. But he was thinking, how is it possible? How will I do it? I mean, I just don't know. And then Srila Prabhupada describes, in his dream, his spiritual master came, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and said, you should take sannyas. And Srila Prabhupada says, I was scared after that. What? Sannyas? I never thought of taking sannyas. Okay, I'll go and preach, but I'm not taking sannyas. Then again, second time, again he came after some time in the dream, said, take sannyas. 3 times Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada, came in the dream of Srila Prabhupada. Even though Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had left this world, but he came in his dream 3 times and said, take sannyas. And then he was able to connect the instruction, the first instruction of go preach in English language and take sannyas together. He says, okay, now my Guru Maharaj is telling me I will take sannyas for what? For preaching purpose. So sannyas is typically taken, the initiation mantra of sannyas is the same mantra that we give to a dead body, which means that socially you are dead to the society. No interactions for sense gratification. But you interact with a sannyasi interacts with the society only for preaching, for their benefit of Krishna consciousness. So from that point of view, if you are dedicating your life for preaching, for making everyone remind about Krishna consciousness, encouraging them in Krishna consciousness, you just want to dedicate to that, then for that reason you can take sannyas. But not just the focus is not leaving things, the focus is engaging things for the purpose of preaching. So that's what Srila Prabhupada did. He took sannyas with his senior god, from his senior god, for the purpose of spreading Krishna consciousness. One focused determination, no other goal in life but to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And then because of that, Krishna used him as an instrument. He took sannyas in 1959, and after that he went to Radha Damodar temple. As we saw, he stayed at Radha Damodar temple for 6 years. Then in he wrote books, Bhagavatam, he prayed to Srila Rupa Goswami's Samadhi there, and then he was empowered to go to the West in 1965. Does that address your question, or is it still?
No. Yes, it answered my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, still we have to take it.
It is a very, very selfless service for the benefit of the humanity that Srila Prabhupada took this step. He was inspired to take this step. Otherwise, if Prabhupada would not have done that, then where would we be? If Prabhupada would not have done what he did, we would not be here today. Speaking to each other, we would not be able to sit. So, and speak, it is all because of that one personality, Srila Prabhupada. So our eternal gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Thank you, Anjali. Hare Krishna.
Rushan Prabhu, Rushan Mavani Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. And what pronouns? I found it pleasing to hear the bhajan from your sweet tone. So the question was that whenever we go to, whenever I've been to the temples, I see mostly four-handed form of Krishna and not two-handed. Why is it so? So when just now when we saw Keshavadev ji, he was in four hands, and when we visit to Dwarka temple also, he is there in four hands, and why not two hands? Why is it so?
Well, because Lord Vishnu, that is the four-handed form of Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu, he is like the Krishna when he is in his formal formal rupa or formal manifestation. Srila Prabhupada explains that there's no difference between Vishnu and Krishna. No difference. It's just that when Krishna wants to go to office and do something very formal, he comes as Lord Vishnu.
Like that the creation, when Krishna is creating this material world, maintaining this material world, he changes his form and his mood into Vishnu. So Krishna is just like, I'm not sure if someone goes to office, the president, for example, the president is at home, he is one person, but when he goes to the office, his mood is different. Everyone is like Mr. President or Mr. Prime Minister.
And they wear different clothes. They wear suit, tie, and at home they might be in their jammies. They'll be in their pajamas and night suit and whatever. But that they can't wear to office. No. So that's it. So, but it's the same person, and when we do it, it is the same person that we are different at home. We wear different clothes, our mood is different at home, and when we go to the office, it's very formal, it's very official, and we are wearing different clothes, different kind of atmosphere. So but with Krishna, every mood that he has, he manifests a different form, a separate form.
So he has Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. When he goes to maintain this material world, he is in four-handed, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. But in Vrindavan, he's two-handed Krishna. Is the same person like that. So does that address your question?
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna.
Also, you had asked a question about Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Yesterday we answered it. Day before yesterday, you asked a question about 12. Did you hear the answer yesterday?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Roshan Prabhu. We are very, very grateful to you for joining us. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Lavanya?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, actually I have one question. Actually, Mata Subhadra Mata will be telling about story. Just will be seeing in GTs only. I want to know about Subhadra Mataji. Again, Yashoda Mata, she has given birth to two kids, no Mataji. So one is Vrindavan Krishna, one is Yoga Maya, and Subhadra is one and the same or different? Again,
No.
where one more Krishna he has gone?
Subhadra is different. Yogamaya, to she manifested as Durga in front of Kamsa and she disappeared. She didn't stay on. But then, as I said, that Kamsa, he came to Devaki and Vasudeva and he was feeling so bad that, oh, I kept you in prison and look, this girl has come now. Okay, now I release you. So Devaki and Vasudeva were released by Kamsa. And then Vasudeva brought Devaki Mata to his palace. And then in the palace, when they were staying, at that time, the ninth child came to Devaki and Vasudeva, and that was Lady Subhadra. So when they came out of the prison house in the palace of Vasudeva, that's where Mother Devaki gave birth to Subhadra Devi. At that time, Krishna Balaram were in Vrindavan, and here in Mathura, Devaki and Vasudeva had their ninth child, that is Subhadra Devi. So when Krishna came back when he was 11, when he came to Mathura, at that time he saw Subhadra as his sister. So that's when they met each other. That's the story of Subhadra.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
If not, we can end here. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Thank you all so much. Please join us tomorrow when we continue our Parikrama to go to the first forest of Sri Vrindavan Dham out of the 12, which is Sri Madhuvan. So let us join together in, going towards Madhuvan, the forest where Dhruva Maharaj perfected his life and receive the blessings of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam. Thank you
Krishna.
for the blessing.
Dandavat. Hare Krishna.